is Nesson, your ticket to New England sports.
Well, I think our strengths are our returning forwards, and on paper our weaknesses seem to be our inexperience on defense and in goal. We have certainly some question marks at those two positions, which are ultimately the positions that will determine any team's fate. You've got to be strong on defense and strong in goal, and if our goaltending and defense comes along, then we'll be a good team by the end of the year. At this point, I think we're a long way from being that, but I think going against our forwards every day in practice is going to hopefully make both of those areas better as the season continues.
The thing is, we should be a stronger team because we have another year of experience under our belt. We only have two kids that they graduated last year, Greg Brown and Billy Nolan. And on defense, we're going to miss Greg Brown. There's no question about that. But we have a couple of kids that we think are going to be able to make up a little bit, at least in part what Greg is we have missing in Greg. And in back then, he and Joe Clary. And then Eddie Crowley last year had an outstanding year for a freshman. And I think we have the two best goaltenders and might be in college hockey. I wouldn't be afraid to use either one of the goalies. This year, we're hoping that we maybe overall will be a better team defensively. We expect that this is going to be the finest year probably of hockey and Hockey East. So we're just expecting that we'll have a good club, but so will everybody else, which means that we're going to have to work that much harder.
This year's UNH hockey team should be a sort of an offshoot of the end of last year, where we really came on in the last 6 games of the year. It's a balanced team with not that many superstars. It can be a veteran team with more seniors and juniors than freshmen and sophomores, and depth at all the positions. In goal, I think Pat Morrison will be the starter, and he will be really pushed by 2 other goalies, particularly Jeff Levy, the freshman.
We started out very well at the beginning of the season. Got some key injuries. Obviously, Chris Wennis and Scott Morrow, Joe Flanagan were injured. We went into a little bit of a lull and had difficult time scoring some goals. But we found a way to win, and we're just going to pick up this season where we left off. So there really won't be much of a change between Coach Cullen being on the bench and myself being on the bench. They'll be a little bit different in personality, but as far as the system, we're not going to change that.
I think the fact that we're rated highly in the Hockey East and highly in the national polls tells everybody that we're going to have a solid team. The question is, where we'll finish just in Hockey East. There's so many good teams in our league. We're solid on defense with guys like Ahoa and Von Stefanelli and Alex Legault. They had great years for us last year, all freshmen or all sophomores this year. We expect to be real solid in the goal with Cashman. And people like Monty and McEachran and freshmen like LaChance and Kachuk, I think we're going to have a real solid team all around. Should be able to put the puck in the net, but our strength will be in the cage, and most probably our biggest strength will be on defense.
From Walter Brown Arena on the campus of Boston University, Nesson welcomes you to the coverage of the Hockey East Jamboree. 2 days of great hockey action, previewing the 1990-91 Hockey East regular season. Tonight, our opening game features Maine against Boston College, followed by the University of New Hampshire against the host club, Boston University. Hello, everybody. I'm Dave Shea, along with Hockey East Ambassador of Goodwill, Bob Norton. And, Bob, good to see you again. It's good to have the season getting ready again.
Well, it sure has been a long summer, but this is going to be a great game, this first one. Maine, BC, these two teams have been just fighting catfights in this Hockey East division all along. And, this is going to be a good wake-up call for both teams.
And also tonight, UNH and BU, two of the top teams in the league this year. Tomorrow night, Lowell and Merrimack, and Northeastern against Providence. All in all, 2 days of hockey that'll give the fans a good chance to see what everybody's all about.
Yeah, that's for sure. And tonight it's 2 25-minute periods. That was a system that they were going to go to this season before they changed about a month ago. So it'll be 2 25-minute 25-minute periods, a break in between, and then they'll play another game. The next game will be again 2 25-minute periods. A little different format tomorrow night, but it'll be interesting to see how this one goes tonight.
And it'll give both coaches of all the teams a chance to play a lot of guys tonight. In fact, BC will have 5 lines and 4 defense pairings, so they'll get a chance to look at a lot of people. Before we look ahead, let's take a second to look back to the way the season ended last year and the final standings in Hockey East, Bob. Any major surprises in your mind?
Well, I think that the biggest surprise at the end of the year was how tough New Hampshire played Boston College in that playoff. They came within a whisker of winning that, and that was a surprise. So they really matured at the end of the season, and I think that speaks to why they may be ranked pretty high in the preseason polls.
All right, let's take a look at how the coaches thought things would shape up this season in Hockey East. What do you think?
Well, there you go again. BU and BC and Maine, I think those 3 teams pretty well figured. New Hampshire probably boosted up as high as they are because of last year's finish. I think Providence may be a shade low. Maybe New Hampshire's a little bit high, but I just think it's going to be a dogfight. Should be an extremely close season this year.
Well, the opener tonight should be a beauty. Boston College and Maine, annually 2 of the tougher teams in Hockey East. Let's start with the Black Bears. What have they lost, and how's this going to impact?
Well, the Boston Bruins have their biggest loss. Matt Del Giuda signed with the Bruins at the end of the summer, and that really represented a significant loss for them when they lost their goaltender. They have Mike Dunham coming in out of Canterbury School, Garth Snow returning, but how their goaltenders play is going to be crucial to their season. They always have impact freshmen, and I think that this year we'll see a couple of impact freshmen as well. That's been characteristic with them. This year, their freshmen are a little bit younger than the freshmen they brought in the past.
What about the keys to Maine playing well tonight and throughout the season? What are they going to have to do as compared to past years?
Well, they have great forwards, so they're going to have to keep the puck in the other guy's end. They need to solidify their defense. They're solid on defense, but with questionable goaltending, younger kids playing in the goal, particularly looking for Dunham, the freshman, to play well, they're going to have to try to make sure they use their strength, which is their forwards, to keep the puck up the other end of the ice.
Boston College, on the other hand, really has very little change. What have they lost?
Well, they really didn't lose too much. They lost Scheifele in the middle of the season last year, but they have an outstanding team coming back. Hines and Emma, 2 of the finest forwards in the league. They have good, solid defense. They have solid goaltending. Their goaltending last year was a strength at the end of the year with LeGrand, and I just think that they're a very balanced team that probably had as little transition over the year as any of the teams. They're going to have some big losses at the end of this year, but this is a year where they really could mature as a team.
All right, what do you look for tonight? What are the keys to a successful Boston College season?
Well, I think for Maine and Boston College, the same thing is true. This is the first time you get to see those freshmen out there in competition. You've recruited them. You've had all these stories about how great they are. They've been great at whatever level of hockey they've played at. You've given them a scholarship. Now you find out right off the bat, are they going to be a good player in their freshman year? They're going to help us right away. What's their role going to be in the team? That story will be told for both of these teams, all 4 of these teams tonight.
Well, the 2-day Hockey East Jamboree, what a great way to preview the season. What a great way to start the Jamboree. Maine against Boston College. The face-off is coming up. Stay right with us.
Through this door.
What did happen to the fellow that started this job?
He didn't work out. Down these stairs.
You're not thinking about going down in there.
Behind those shadows.
Ain't no job worth this.
Awaits the new horror from the mind of Stephen King.
This isn't
Graveyard Shift. Rated R. Starts Friday, October 26th at theaters everywhere.
You just can't beat New England. There's so much here to see. And when you're talking trucks in New England, you're talking GMC truck. It's not just a truck anymore. A truck you can live with, a truck you can work with, a truck you can play with, a truck you can stay with. GMC truck. It's not just a truck anymore.
See your New England GMC truck dealers today.
Welcome back to the Walter Brown Arena. We're just about set to go. Maine and BC. The officials for tonight's game, the referee will be Rich Folks, the linesman Bob Folks, and John Jones. As far as goaltenders, Bob, how are we shaping up there?
Well, Sandy Gallupo is going to start in the nets for Boston College. He had a 4.09 goals against average last year with an 11-9-1 record on the season. There's Gallupo. And for the Maine Black Bears, it's going to be their fine freshman prospect, Mike Dunham, drafted the New Jersey Devils out of Canterbury School, 6'3", 175, from Enwell, New York, and played his prep school hockey at Canterbury School in Connecticut.
Well, we're underway. BC with a front line of Barron, Emmon, and Garrett. Maine countering with Pellerin, Robitaille, and Tomberlin. Martin in deep, the defenseman, freshman, a big freshman defenseman from Maine. Clearing pass. Knocked down, but BC cannot control. Emma banged hard by Martin. Puck comes free. Martin can't control. Quick wrist shot and a save by Dunham. David Emma got off the good wrist shot. Dunham made the save. So BC going on the attack right away, Bob.
Yes, they are. And once again, you want to look for the workier freshman, and Matt Martin got into the action right away. The big 6'4" Maine defenseman out of Avon Old Farms. Coach Walsh thinks very, very highly of him, and this is his first testing competition. Matt Martin, we'll be hearing his name a lot tonight.
Kearney was forced to clear quickly. It went almost the length of the ice. BC now feeling the forechecking pressure of Maine. Pellerin. Puck coming around the corner. A heavy hit laid in deep by Pellerin. Eagles, though, over the line. Shot wide by Pergola. And a score out in front. Glennon with some heavy activity around the main net. Matt Glennon, who centers David Pergola and Jeff O'Neill, gets the first goal of this Hockey East Jamboree.
Well, O'Neill, Pergola, and Glennon leak way behind the Maine defense, and you don't watch right in there. There's 3 Boston College forwards behind any defenseman, and right there the puck just leaks over the other side, and Glennon bangs away at it. Goaltender Dunham had no chance at all. Serious breakdown on defense for Maine. As you could see, 3 BC forwards, all 3 behind the Maine defense. And that's one of Coach Walsh's concerns, that they don't put the young freshman goaltender in situations where he's under siege because of poor defensive play.
Himes banks it out into neutral ice. 1-0 BC. And Jim Montgomery had 26 goals a year ago, tries to get things going. Mike Barkley shoots high on Sandy Galupo. Galupo with the save. Some heavy hitting in deep early in this hockey game. Back to the point. Himes shot scores! Chris Himes, the freshman defenseman, fired one from just inside the blue line. And Sandy Galupo didn't have a chance. We're tied at 1. This may be a 20-19 game, Bob.
Well, Coach Walsh was talking about trying to find the 6th defenseman. This is one of the guys battling for the spot. Chris Himes, 5'11", 185 pounds, out of Birchdale, Minnesota. That was Brian Downey right in front of the net, setting up the screen. The sophomore set up the screen right in front of the goaltender, and the shot from Himes, goaltender Galupo had no chance whatsoever.
So we've only played not even 2 minutes of hockey. We already have 2 goals. Steve Kemper trying to kick it ahead was broken up. Puck shot into the Boston College zone and around the boards looking for David Franzosa. He's hit. Kemper in deep, losing control to Schaffhauser. NBC starts it back. Wing to wing. Franzosa's centering pass from McGinnis was knocked away. And Straub starts it back for Maine. Nice pass smartly into the middle of Mercier. He is checked and taken to the boards and broken up. Trying to get a face-off. Mercier trying to pin it against the boards. Can't. It comes loose and is deflected out into neutral ice. Good play that time by Steve Himes. It would have been an open shot at the left point for Maine. Back on the attack. Tardif. Shot blocked. Shot from the point by Jason Weinrich was blocked, and we've got a whistle, a hand pass. Then we'll have a face-off coming.
Dave, whenever you play a freshman goaltender, or in fact a rookie goaltender, if you're talking about professional sports, what you need to have is, in any kind of situation, even in an exhibition game, as we look at Sean Walsh, the head coach of Maine, you have to have the whole team concentrating on playing good, solid defense, because you don't want, in this case, the freshman or the rookie being put under siege in the early stages. You want to try to build confidence, and the way you build confidence is everybody pitching in on defense and playing good, solid defense in front of them. So far in front of Dunham, there's been a couple of breakdowns.
Weinrich trying to clear. It is knocked down by Farley. Weinrich again looking to skate it out of the zone. His pass is blocked. And Randy Olson, sophomore centerman, trying to work it out for Roy. Jean-Yves Roy. Again, the Eagles break it up at center ice. Olson taps it in, but is checked. John Riley in deep. Mike delay. After that wild start, both teams now beginning to settle into a little more of a tighter checking game, Bob. Joe Cleary can't clear it. Kept in nicely by Tony Lick. Tomberlin. Shot from the point again by Link. This time gloved by Gallupo, and tempers begin to flare.
No love lost between these two teams. They've been in a real big rivalry over the last couple of years in this league. Both of these two teams have been really two of the premier teams in the division, along with Boston University over the last 2 or 3, and they've had some real tough battles. You know, I really enjoy watching the freshmen. Just watching Patrice Tardif in that last shift. You know, the freshmen are going to get tired much more quickly than they would normally get tired. They're very nervous, very excited in their first competition, and they're getting bumped harder than they've been bumped. This is competition, not practice, and you're going to be much more tired much earlier in the shift.
Robitaille won the draw, but Tomberlin couldn't move in. NBC now on the attack. Long drive from center ice. And again, we've got a penalty this time. A lot of bodies flying around out there.
Well, Barron got put into the boards by Carney, but it's going to be Pellerin that's going to be sent off for 2 minutes for holding. Number 8, their fine left winger, 22 goals last season. Scott Pellerin from Shediac, New Brunswick. Last year played for the Canadian national team in the World Championship, but he's an outstanding forward. But he got picked up for holding on the back check by referee Folks.
First penalty of the night. Thus the first Boston College power play.
Last year they were a solid power play team, but not a spectacular one considering their offensive firepower. Only 21% overall over the course of the season, and a little over 17% in Hockey East competition. And I know that Boston College feels that they have the offensive performers up front to be better than that on power play.
Montgomery beating Guerin off the draw. Clearing pass knocked down. Shot by Cleary off the blade of the stick. Dunham got the shaft of the stick up and got a piece of it. McGinnis back for Cleary, down low for Guerin. Guerin trying to slide it around the boards to David Emma. Emma being checked in deep by Murphy. Cleary, wrist shot just wide. Dunham may have gotten a piece of it. Crowley at the point. Down low. McGinnis in the corner for Cleary. Cleary trying to center, looking for McGinnis, couldn't get it to him. Cleary tried to keep it in, but a good play. And up goes Jean-Yves Roy. Working up nicely, and he recovers to get a shot wide. Oh, we saw 2 great plays there. One by Crowley, and a great recovery by Roy. Dunham will cover up with Guerin in trying to pry the puck loose. What great play at the other end.
Yeah, sure was. And you know, the play was set up. Cleary made a pass from the center, so he was right outside the boards, and this sets up the Roy rush as Cleary tried to thread the needle instead of making the simple pass inside. The puck got intercepted out by the blue line out high, and that set up Roy on the breakaway. Cleary on the right boards had an opportunity to move the puck back inside on power play and control possession.
Matt Glennon off the draw, almost walked in and had a good chance at a second goal.
Yeah, and that should never happen. That's a fundamental breakdown defensively. In this situation, Mike Barkley, the centerman, has got to take the opposing offensive centerman. Even if he doesn't win the draw, he can't lose him off the faceoff.
Schaffhauser for Dennehy. Glennon checked along the left wing boards. Schaffhauser, top of the circle, deflected by O'Neill. A save off of Pergola. So Dunham getting some work early. Schaffhauser just flips it into the corner. O'Neill and Pergola in deep. Pergola fanned on the pass. Dennehy tried to keep it in but couldn't. Dennehy with a nice piece of stick handling. But it is skated off by Tardif. Patrice Tardif misses on the short-handed bid. 20 seconds left to go on the BC power play. So the Eagles have had an excellent power play. Yet the Bears have had a couple of short-handed bids. Interesting penalty. Glennon tried to wrist one in. Shot saved by Dunham. Pergola. For O'Neill, he scores. It's a power play goal with just 2 seconds left to go in the power play. And this line of Matt Glennon between Jeff O'Neill and Dave Pergola have accounted for both BC goals. They lead it 2-1.
Well, once again, it's BC's forward leaking in behind the Maine defense. It's Pergola. You're going to see Dunham down. He's going to try to get up and get to the other side. Pergola moves the puck in front to O'Neill, and he just, as he was moving that right leg to cover the post, O'Neill split the difference and got the puck through. There you see again Pergola, O'Neill behind the defense, Pergola with the shot. Now O'Neill come out free in front of the net. Here comes Dunham, gets the skate to the post, but O'Neill finds a hole in the middle.
So it's 2-1. Boston College leading with 18:30 left to go in this first period. The Eagles have spent most of the time in the main end, helped by a penalty and a successful power play. Brian Straub trying to move it out of the zone himself and does. Can't connect, though, on the pass ahead for Steve Tepper. Scott Zagolski around the boards for Steve Hines. Now the Eagles go on the attack again. Zagolski's shot was blocked, and it forced the offside. McGinnis in ahead of the play. After this one, BU and UNH will hook horns.
Well, you know, very similar situation to a scrimmage game in these kind of games where sometimes defense and defensive position play gets lost with everybody trying to make the offensive move and take the offensive chance. You know, it doesn't count in the season standing, so people worry a little bit less about defense except for the goaltender and the coach.
Jason Weinrich. His pass a little bit too far ahead of Scott Pellerin, and icing is called.
You know, the two most concerned people on each bench about team defensive play are Dunham, Galupo, Siglarski, and Walsh. It doesn't always transfer down. It's like summer hockey. You know, you talk about defense, but the only guy interested in defense is a goaltender. Everybody else is trying to move.
BC again, trying to go on the attack. Jason Rathbone. Tied up by Eric Fenton. Puck comes free for Weinrich. Can't send away Martin Robitaille, but Robitaille gets it back. Robitaille drops it off for Tarmerlin. Tarmerlin being checked by Rathbone. Comes off the boards with it. Knocked off the puck. Tarmerlin is tenacious. Robitaille indeed looking to set the play. Robitaille, backhander, hit a skate and went wide. The Eagles under fire for one of the few times here early in the game. Cleary over the line, broken up. Robitaille for Pellerin. Pellerin trying to stick handle on Schaffhauser, who did a good job of working him to the corner. Centering pass intercepted by Olsen. And a penalty coming up against Boston College, a holding penalty. So the Black Bears will get their first shot of the power play.
One of the sure signs that you're not playing or not up to snuff on man-to-man in-zone defense is when you begin to see holding penalties. Now, the two penalties we've seen early on in the game have been a holding penalty by Pellerin and here a holding penalty on Boston College. And that's usually a sign, I think that was on Schaffhauser, that's usually a sign that the defenders are a step behind the play. When you see a number of holding and hooking and tripping penalties, you're just not defensively up to where you ought to be.
2-1, Boston College leading with 16:40 left to go in the first period of this 2-25-minute period game. Dunham out of his net to tap it away from the forechecking of Guerin. Chris Imes, freshman defenseman, who has the goal for Maine. In the corner, Randy Olsen. In deep for Patrice Tardif. Tardif, bump. Puck is cleared. Minute 25 left on the Maine power play. Roy, Jean-Yves Roy, a sophomore. And a 39-goal scorer from a year ago.
What a great player he was, and what a superb season he had. They've had two outstanding impact freshmen. Mario Thayer, who after an outstanding freshman season signed a professional contract, and Jean-Yves Roy, who really did it all. You know, Dave, one of the things that doesn't show, even in that statistic of the number of goals, with a number of key goals in key game situations that he got in terms of power play, shorthand. All the times that Maine needed somebody to come up big, it was the freshman Roy that did it game after game.
That's the mark of a champion.
Sure was. He was an outstanding player and a real exciting guy to watch.
The Eagles trying to clear, can't, as it was knocked down at the line, but now BC out on the attack. Saved by Dunham on a beauty. Marty McGinnis was in for the shorthanded bid, and Dunham came up big with the save. Montgomery for Robitaille, who wants to set up. Wing to wing. Carney has it taken away, and again the Eagles break out. But this time McGinnis elects to rag the puck, trying to kill a little time. 40 seconds left to go on the Maine power play. Seconds left as Keith Carney, big junior defenseman, starts it out for Montgomery. Play at center ice, broken up for Gola. Tapped it back into the zone. Good play by Mike Barkley to hustle up at the left point to keep it in. Montgomery puts on the brakes. Back to Pellerin for Montgomery. Down low, centering pass intended for Montgomery was blocked. Emma takes a wicked hit in the corner. The penalty is up. BC back at full strength. Carney's shot was deflected, and we've got an Eagle down. It's O'Neill. Apparently he's all right. Puck trapped underneath number 15, Jeff O'Neill, a senior left winger from Cohasset out of Belmont Hill. Take a look at the hit here. That was O'Neill and not Emma, who was at the wrong end of that collision in the corner at the BC end. Here's Marty McGinnis with the shorthanded bid. Makes a good move to get around Carney. He's going far side, and Dunham stayed right with it for a combination pad stick save.
That's one of the plays I was talking about. Carney, even though he's a good forward, McGinnis, Carney's got to be much closer to him in the one-on-one than that. And Carney is a good enough defender, an outstanding defender, that shot really should not have been taken. He should have been able to work him off the play.
Just a sign, Bob, that we're still in the preseason. The tune-up for the 1990-91 Hockey East regular season, the Hockey East Jamboree, and we're glad you're along for the ride tonight. And we'll be back again tomorrow night from Providence. Puck is shot in. Pergola hustles in to make a good play. Centering pass, and the shot wide by Matt Glennon, who already has a goal and an assist. Glennon digging it out of the corner. Being checked by Weinrich. Pergola tied up by Straub. Puck comes out now to center ice, and for the first time tonight, Steve Widmeyer, who is a extra forward on Sean Walsh's four-line alignment. He has 13 forwards dressed tonight for the Jamboree. Clearing, cannot clear. Yes, he did clear. It just cleared, and Matt Martin carried it back in for the offside. So a face-off coming in the Boston College end as you take a look at junior defenseman Joe Cleary out of Marlborough, Massachusetts. Bob Norton headed down to the Maine bench, where he'll be talking with Maine head coach Sean Walsh, and we want to send along our best wishes to wife Tracy Walsh, who is at home expecting their first child. In fact, she was due yesterday. That's cutting it close. I told Sean to keep a cab running outside Walter Brown Arena. Steve Hines was hoping to get the pass. He had the trigger cocked, but it was broken up, and here comes Maine. Dave LaCouture in the corner, fighting for the loose puck along with Martin Messier. Scott Cegulski. Spun around and taken down, and the penalty coming up against Maine. Going to be a holding call as Cegulski gets up slowly. And the penalty apparently is going to be on Martin Mercier. Mercier had the left hand out. Would have been all right if he had kept the hand on the stick and tried to tie up Cegulski with the leg and the hip. But as soon as that hand comes off the stick and reaches around the body, almost as good as gone. Second power play of the night for BC. O'Neill scored on the first power play giving Boston College a 2-1 lead that they still enjoy with 13:07 left to go in this first period. 25-minute periods, 2 of them in the games tonight. Joe Cleary. Past center ice. David Emma had trouble handling it. Gets it back. Crowley. Went to fire it in the corner. It hit the defenseman Chris Imes, and the Eagles are able to control. Cleary. For Crowley. Bouncing puck. He settles it down. Emma taps it in the corner. Cleary. Checked by Roy. And John Eaves able to clear it out to center ice. Imes backhands it into the Boston College zone. 1:15 left to go on the power play. Matt Glennon and Jeff O'Neill, the goal scorers for Boston College. In deep, Marty McGinnis trying to check Carney. Puck cleared by Pellerin. Emma, Guinness, Garrett, Cleary, and Crowley on the power play. And as soon as I tell you that, Glenn Zaglarski changes up. Keith Carney had trouble handling the puck at the line. Matt Glennon into forecheck. Link tucks it away from Glennon for Carney, and he is able to clear to center ice. In fact, it goes the length of the ice. Back to get it for BC is Pat Schaffhauser, the sophomore defenseman. Schaffhauser flips it in. Dave Bergola in chasing. Glennon intercepts. His shot and a save by Dunham, and Dunham covers up quickly. Oh, Matt Glennon having an excellent start to tonight's game. He had a goal in the opening minute. His bid for a second stifled by the freshman goaltender out of Endwell, New York. Mike Dunham goes 6'3", 175 pounds. And Sean Walsh and the rest of the Maine coaching staff hoping that he will pick up the slack created by the departure of Matt Deljudas. Jim Montgomery and Matt Glennon on the draw. Montgomery wins it. A deflection in on Dunham off the stick of Pergola, and he made the save. That was a tough one. Glennon walks out of the corner, tried to feed O'Neill. It hit a skate, and the Bears started up ice. Montgomery elects to feed it back to Strobe. Brian Strobe out to center ice. Both teams now at full strength. Maine looking to tie this game up. 10:50 left to go, first period. Zagulski, a blind pass intercepted by Montgomery, and he sends Farley down the puck. Mark Barkley in for a backhander wide. Mike Barkley came in off his off wing, forced to take the backhander. Hines, nice play. Little drop pass for Barron, shot blocked. Hines, so makes a nice play back to Barron. Barron can't control it as he was checked. Nice play by Brian Downey, a sophomore left winger. He kept tying up Barron. Mark could not get the shot off. And a penalty? No. A late offside call. Franzosa and a nice nifty little pass to McGinnis. Hines now carries over, kicks it ahead with the skate. He's knocked down. Roy in deep for Weinrich. Up ahead for Jean-Yves Roy. Tries to hit Patrice Tardif, who moves in and pulls over Galupo. Galupo made the stop. The play came out to center ice, and the hitting is really picking up. This may be the Jamboree, but these guys are playing it like it's the Hockey East Championship. Cleary in his own end. Nice little pass ahead for Sean Farley. We've got an offside call. Let's go down to the Maine bench. Standing by Bob Norton and head coach Sean Walsh. Bob?
Thanks very much, David. Sean's in the middle of changing lines, and what do you think so far as this game is going along in the early stages?
Well, it's really fast. I think the biggest thing that's great about this situation is that both teams, I know our team, because of the BC quickness and transition game, we've got to really work on our offense to defense transition.
Sean, your team really plays great man-on-man defense, and early on in the season, how long does it take you to teach that? Because, obviously it's not at the level now that it would be later on in the season. That takes a lot of practice time, doesn't it?
It's not that hard to teach that aspect. The biggest thing is to get them away from summer hockey and get them to quit staring at the puck, It's so in summer hockey, there's no coaching, so they just kind of run to the puck, It's like peewees and bantams. When you're a young kid, you just go to the puck, and the same thing happens in summer hockey. So when you get into the regular season, the biggest thing is just to get the guys used to people awareness instead of puck awareness.
I was saying he wanted to get Dunham some protection early on, but it looked like summer hockey in those first series where he was left alone in front of the net. That must have looked lonesome to him.
He really was. I'm really pleased with the way he's playing right now. I think he's been severely tested, and I expected that because BC's a real veteran club, and hey, they went to the Final Four last year and they got almost everybody back. I personally think they'll be a team that certainly looks like to be one of the nation's elites. So if we can withstand this tonight, I think we'll just get better and better.
How long line shifts tonight? Now, how long do you normally have a team out, and how long do you normally have a line out in a preseason situation like this?
Well, it's a little bit longer than normal because, again, that's another thing. In the summers, they're used to staying on the ice all the time, and right now they've got to quicken it up, and they're not used to coming off until they're tired. They've got to learn to come off before they're tired.
Any system of play that you use tonight, or you just let everybody do different things with different lines, or do you have a standard thing that you're trying to get accomplished?
Well, we're trying to perfect our system. We got a great weekend series coming up with Lake Superior, which will be a tremendous test for our team. So I think we're trying to work some kinks out in a game that doesn't really hurt you if you lose. But we are playing 4 sets of defensemen, and I'm more interested right now in giving everyone a chance and not worry about giving the better players a lot more quality ice time. Let's let guys decide who can play at this level and who can't.
Always interesting to see how the freshmen are going to do. This is the first real test. You recruit them. You think that they're exceptional players. You've got some good ones, but there's nothing like seeing the opponent on the ice as the real test to really what they're going to be able to do for you this season.
That's right, and that's where the hockey sense comes in. You can see the guys that can make the decisions and who panics, because it's so much faster out here than say in a game setting, and things happen so much quicker that some guys get left in the dust. Some guys, and I think that happened on the first shift to us. I don't think we were totally ready that second shift of the game. And then other guys really handle it with a kind of an aplomb, and that's the kind of player you want, that kind of poise.
You have a great freshman goaltender. How much is the impact on the team of Del Judas signing? It obviously doesn't help.
I think the impact's over. I think initially it was a factor on everybody's mind, but we've seen both our goaltenders play so far in training camp, and as you've seen tonight, I think we're fine. I think we're just fine, and we'll be a good team by the end of the season.
Well, we're going to watch a little bit more of this, and I'm going to make sure that I get my ducking habits in order down here on the bench. Make sure that I anticipate the puck correctly. I notice you have a new assistant coach in Red Gendron from up in Bellows Falls, and getting somebody like Red to take Bruce Crowder's place really a coup for you. He's one of the top hockey guys around.
Well, it's a real break. We've been blessed with great assistants, whether it be Jay Leach, Grant Stambrook, Bruce Crowder, and now we got Red Gendron. And I was lucky. We were lucky to have him available at the time we needed to get a guy, which was October. And he has a wealth of hockey knowledge. He's tremendous enthusiasm, and he's worked at the national level a lot. So he's really a guy that I think will help our program tremendously in a lot of areas.
And the mark of a good program, Sean, is when your assistants go on to bigger and better things, and that's been happening with you.
Well, we've been happy about that, but I think it's more because of the quality of the guys we've had versus, the program itself. When you get guys like that, they're going to move on.
Well, we're going to send it back up to you, David, and this is up and down action down here on the bench. And believe it or not, it looks much faster down here than it does up there.
I can believe it. It looks pretty quick up here, Bobby. We'll check back in with you in a moment. Marty McGinnis trying to walk out of the corner is checked by Brian Straub. Centering pass, he was looking for Steve Hines, and Brian Downey had Hines all tied up. This is Montgomery now at center ice, slides it in as Maine will change up. 2-1, Boston College leading. First of 2 periods tonight here at BU's Walter Brown Arena. A quick shot by Franzosa, and he fanned on it. Pergola couldn't keep it in the zone. Cleary now slides it in. Eagles looking to change up. Sent for Roy. Quick pass up ahead for Olsen. Tardif head on into Cleary, and he broke him up. Great action here in this opening game of the 2-day Hockey East Jamboree. Pergola on a beautiful pass. Shot and a save by Dunham. Weinrich right there to help clear the rebound, but he can't clear the zone. Puck kept in by Dennehy. In deep, Glennon battles with Weinrich. Jean-Yves Roy ahead for Olsen. Back for Roy. Over the line. Tardif holding. Rich shot. Save Gallupo. And there's no rebound as Sandy Gallupo covered up. Well, Maine moved the puck beautifully that time on the attack. Roy for Tardif. And the quick shot and the save by Gallupo. Watch how the puck will stay with Tardif. And he gets off the shot. No rebound. Sandy Gallupo. Quite a battle between Gallupo and Scott Legrand. 1 and 1A as far as Len Zaglarski is concerned. With his goaltending situation, Legrand will play the second period of tonight's game. All right, let's go down on the ice again to Bob Norton. No, I guess we won't go down yet to Bob Norton. Let's go back to the action. Burley clearing in ahead for Rathbone. He was broken up and knocked down. No call. And, well, there shouldn't have been one. Again, BC shoots in deep. Murphy on at first, taking a big hit from Rathbone. Maine breaking it out with Lacouture. Coming in out the left wing. His backhander is blocked in deep by Crowley. Delay. Back to center ice. The Eagles on the attack. Crowley with the shot kicked out by Dunham. Goaltenders playing very well tonight. They've made some big stops here in the first half of this hockey game. Zagolski shoots it in. Heavy hit late on Dan Murphy. David Emma. All right, let's go down to the main bench. Brian Straub is Bob Norton's guest. Bobby?
Thanks, David. Brian, it's been pretty hot and heavy for a preseason game. How's it feel to be defense and in front of a young freshman goaltender?
It feels great. Everyone's working hard so far. He's playing good nets. They got a ton of speed coming at us, and we're doing well so far, so it feels really good.
Coach says you got to get rid of some of those summer hockey, not you, but the team. You got to get rid of some of those summer hockey mistakes.
Yeah, everyone's thinking offense too much. Everyone's got to tighten up on D, work hard, and that's the main thing right there. Offense will come.
Brian, Del Judas is gone. You got a freshman goaltender, sophomore goaltender in the nets. What's that mean for the defensive team?
We got to try not to let them get any shots around in front of the net. Keep them out of the front so you can see the puck. And that's about it. Just everyone has to tighten up defensively and forward.
How's your conditioning? You winded yet?
Not too bad. That's all right.
Brian Straub there, veteran defenseman. Back up to you, David, on the rush by Guerin.
Bill Guerin moving in, broke it up, and a save by Dunham. Guerin was tied up a little bit by Keith Carney as he tried to move in, and actually he was checked and bouncing puck. Difficult time for Guerin to get control of that. But it looked promising as he came across the line. Guerin moving in, wanted to get the forehander, and right there, as he went to pull the trigger, he must have felt pressure because he took his eye off the puck for just a second. Altered his decision right there. Looks like maybe he wanted to try to tuck it instead of take the wrist shot. It looked like he might have wanted to try to tuck it between the pads of goaltender Mike Dunham, and that little moment of indecision fouled up the play. But Carney was called for a slash anyway on that play, so BC, with 4 minutes left to go in the first period, will go on the power play. And they have had some excellent power plays tonight. In fact, they scored on their first power play of the night. Let's get down to Bobby Norton, who has backup goaltender Garth Snow with him. Bob?
Thanks very much, Dave. Garth, your chance is going to come in the second period. What are you looking for out here as you watch Boston College?
Just got to watch out for their speedy forwards. You know, they're very quick, and they like to get the shot off quick, and I just want to come out and stand on my feet.
Now, you and Dunham working together this year, what will you talk about between periods? As the goaltenders usually sit over in a corner and commiserate with one another, what sort of things do you think he'll have to tell you?
They'll tell me tendencies of certain shooters, like if they shoot high or low, where they shoot. They'll just tell me the general feel of, you know, what way the game's turning, you know.
Well, with Del Judas gone, that has an impact on the team in terms of an outstanding goalie gone, but a tremendous opportunity for you from out of Mount St. Charles up here at Maine. You got to look on it as a great chance.
Yeah. there's more than just a goalie, though, on the team, you know, so it's never going to fall on the goalies. It's a 20-man unit, you know. It's one unit. It's not just one player, so, you know, got to take it as it comes.
This team plays pretty good team defense over the course of my time watching them, and certainly the time you've been here, the team defense has been one of the features of the hockey team, and that's got to make you feel pretty good in the nets.
Yeah, it makes you feel really confident that usually you're only going to have to face that one shot, you know, and come out and challenge and really don't have to worry about the second and third shots like some other teams. You know.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Garth Snow, he's going to be seeing action in the second period of this game. Back to you, David.
All right, Bob, and forgive me. I identified number 7, Keith Carney, as the culprit. It was not Carney. It was his fellow number 7, Mark Barron of Boston College, who went off. So Maine has had the man advantage and will for another couple seconds, and then Barron will be out. And the Eagles survived that penalty. A couple of good opportunities. A real good one with Keith Carney shooting from the left point, only to have Martin Robitaille redirect it over the net. 2-1 Boston College with 1:45 left to go, and the Eagles had to go on the attack, but David Emma was broken up. The Eagles get it right back. Garrett trying to move in deep. Fans on the pass. Barron moves in and picks up the loose puck. Centering pass, can't connect with Emma. Again, Barron able to anticipate the pass, but can't convert. And the Eagles one more time begin the rush out. Garrett, wrist shot. Partially blocked that time by Brian Straub, the big defenseman. Joe Clary holding, looking, wanted to set up Garrett, who was all alone on the left side of the net. But Straub made a good play to break it up. Shigulski now at center ice. Has his pass knocked down, and then Shigulski is knocked down. And now we've got some action over in front of the main bench. I guess it doesn't make much difference what time of year these teams get together. I think they could get together for a cookout in June, and this sort of thing would probably break out.
23.
Bill Guerin and Martin Mercier. Let's get down to Bob Norton, who's on the main bench. Bob?
Well, I can tell you exactly what happened in that because I was about 4 feet away. That's the closest I've ever been in one of those altercations. Garrett and Mercier got out a little bit, and Mercier got his helmet knocked off and came back at Garrett, and then Carney was going to go over to the bench, and Coach Walsh grabbed on Carney and was yelling at him to sit in his seat. So that's the closest I've been to one of those in a while. Back to you, David.
You better stay out of that thing. We need you for the rest of the night.
I don't want to go to the box.
Plus, I didn't bring enough to bail you out anyway. 53 seconds left to go in this first period. 2-1, Boston College leading on goals by Glennon and O'Neill. I am the goal scorer for Maine. Freshman defenseman Matt Martin moving it ahead. Galuppo with the save on Mike Barkley, the junior centerman, who held it and tried to snap it off using a BC player as a screen, and Galuppo came up with the save. Let's take a look at it again. Matt Martin. Boy, Sean Walsh is very happy to have that big kid on the team. Barkley using Crowley as a screen. And Galuppo got down low and stayed right with it. Each team skating a man short with Guerin and Mercier in the box, but now BC is going to be shy one more player as we've got a high sticking call. Bob, let's get down to you.
David, just for that little play by Martin, you saw what Matt Martin made on that pass to Barkley. When you're talking about freshmen, you want to see them make a play like that. That's the kind of play that's a mature play for a freshman defenseman to make. He came down the side, made a little move in center zone to get by, and then made the good lead pass to Barkley coming down the chute. And when you're sitting over here analyzing freshman play and you see Martin make a play like that, you got to think that he's really going to help you. He's right in front of me now, so he's hearing everything I'm saying. But he just made a real fine play on that, really set the play up nicely, and that's got to make the coaches feel good about what he's going to be able to do before the year's over.
Well, the call did not go against Boston College, Bob. It went against Maine, and right winger Jim Montgomery, who went off for high sticking.
Mine just gave me the high sign, so he's my friend for the next 4 years.
So BC with 20 seconds in which to try to take advantage before the horn. But a great play by Chris Imes, the freshman out of Birchdale, Minnesota, as he dove to sweep it out of the zone. And BC now will be hard-pressed to get an attack. Indeed, McGinnis tried to center it. Hines was covered, and the buzzer sounds, ending the first period of play. Boy, that was an excellent first period. Both teams, especially Boston College, looking like they might be ready to dive into the regular season. Ironically enough, BC has a very slow start to the regular season. Most of the teams will begin their season next weekend, as is the case for Maine, who will go out to Lake Superior State and play a couple out there, and then two more in Denver before they get back home. But Boston College is off until November 2nd when they play Vermont at home, and then they're off for 9 more days before they play their second game of the season. So for Boston College, they can kind of bring the season along slowly, whereas Maine and most of the others have to get ready to start the season next weekend. There's your score at the end of the first period, and again, there are two 25-minute periods tonight. Boston College leading Maine 2-1. During the intermission, we'll be checking in with the Maine dressing room and see what Sean Walsh and the players are saying. But right now, we'll take a break. We'll be back in just a moment.
Everybody knows that milk's for babies, charming, disarming, whatever they do. Everybody knows that milk's for babies. Wouldn't you know it, baby? Milk's for you. Soft baby skin, strong baby bones, a bright baby smile, and ooh, great muscle tone. Wouldn't you know it, baby? Milk's for you. It's a health kick, baby.
You know, there's more than one way to get to New York. There are 7 of them. On U.S. Air.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jim Brandstetter. And I'm Gary Moeller, the head football coach at Michigan. Be sure and join us every week this fall for Michigan Replay. It's the only show that gives you the inside story on Wolverine football.
Catch Michigan Replay Sunday morning at 11:30 on Nesson.
Welcome back to Walter Brown Arena on the campus of Boston University. That's our score at the end of the first period. Boston College leading Maine 2-1. And an interesting first period with Matt Glennon and Jeff O'Neill scoring for Boston College, and Chris Imes, the freshman defenseman, scoring on a shot from just inside the blue line for Maine. I don't know about you. I've always wondered what it was like in a dressing room between periods, and how emphatic the coach was, how much yelling, and how much the players had to say. We're going to get a rare opportunity right now. Let's go down into the main dressing room and see what Sean Walsh is saying to his players.
Let's go, boys.
Good, Mike. Good job.
Hey, a great period for us. Great period to learn what it takes to play at this level. Michael, hell of a period. We were disorganized, and you kept us right in it. Now we got a chance to come back and win the hockey game and get our feet wet. First thing you can see, it's a heck of a different speed than last week. And some guys are coping with it, and some guys aren't, okay? By and large, the biggest single thing is that the puck carrier, we're relying too much on individual efforts because people aren't anticipating. What's happening is guys going up the ice one-on-one, and there's just people 50 feet away watching them. You got to get up with them. We got to get 5 people together as we go up and down the ice. It's all individual efforts right now. And, you know, somebody might turn a guy inside out, but he's got nobody to give it to, okay? And the second thing, and Red harped on it all week, we don't talk. We don't talk. One of the guys comes to the bench yelling because he didn't get a pass, and he should have passed it to a guy. But that's going to happen at this speed. You got to learn. You've got to talk, okay? Now, it's one thing to have aggression and to hard work. And I've been talking about Martin's hard work all training camp. But you know what? It wasn't smart work. Guerin had 2 minutes for elbowing. Folks, he's coming off. He says, hey, Sean, just tell your 27. He's got to learn. Guerin had an easy elbow. No question he was going to be in the box. Martin couldn't handle himself, and it cost us. That's 2 penalties he's cost us. And if it continues, he can't play. Simple as that. It's one thing to work hard. It's another thing to work smart. But I knew we were gonna run around in the first half. There was no question in my mind. I've been pleasantly surprised by some other guys. This isn't a rag-muffin team you're playing. You're playing a heck of a hockey club. Okay? So let's relax and let's learn from it. We'll talk in about 5 minutes about what we can do to get better.
All right, interesting. Sean Walsh in the Maine Black Bears dressing room here between periods 1 and 2. And again, with this Jamboree format, there are 2 25-minute periods. Before we get to the second of tonight's 25 minutes of hockey between Maine and BC, we're going to take a break, and then we'll come back and take a look at the highlights from the first period. So stay with us.
This is the new horror from the mind of Stephen King.
This place is infested. That might be the understatement of the year.
And the deeper you go,
when's the last time you've been to a graveyard?
The colder you feel, the hungrier it gets. Graveyard Shift. Good benefits. Early retirement. Rated R. Starts Friday, October 26th at theaters everywhere.
Everybody knows that milk's for babies. Charming, disarming, whatever they do. Wouldn't you know it, baby? Milk's for you. Soft baby skin, strong baby bones, bright baby smile, ooh, great muscle tone. Wouldn't you know it, baby? Milk's for you. It's a health kick, baby.
Do you know what open-end mutual funds are?
The Wall Street Journal Guide to Understanding Money and Markets tells you in clear, simple English.
Do you know how to spot trends in stocks?
And what stock options are?
And zero coupon bonds?
And the difference between Treasury bills and Treasury notes?
Everything you want to know about the sometimes baffling world of money and investing is in this remarkable 120-page book. And now it's yours free when you subscribe to the Wall Street Journal. Call now and you can have 13 weeks of the Wall Street Journal and this valuable 120-page Guide to Understanding Money and Markets. That's 13 weeks of the Journal for the news and ideas you need every business day. And this guide free, which tells you everything you want to know about money and markets, now for only $34. Call toll-free 800-336-1111. Today's Wall Street Journal. Faster, tougher, smarter. Call 800-336-1111 now.
Welcome back to the opening game of this year's Hockey East Jamboree. Dave Shea along with Bob Norton. 2-1, Boston College leading between periods 1 and 2. And let's take a look at how it got to be 2-1. What a fast start and a fast pace of this hockey game, Bob.
Well, it sure was. You can see the play develop on this first series. This is BC's first goal. Maine just gets lost defensively in the end. That puck goes off of Carney's skate. It ends up over on the right side, and O'Neill's able to just pop it upstairs. Matt Glennon gets a goal just getting that puck on the open side as 3 BC forwards got behind the Maine defense and right in front of goaltender Dunham, and he really had no chance.
But Maine came right back within the next minute of play, and it was a freshman who really had the big play in Maine's goal.
Well, they gave him the goal, but let's see who gets this. Jim Montgomery makes a nice pass, cross pass to the point. That's cross ice to the opposite point. Imes gets the puck. Now watch the shot. It's Downey in front. You see Downey right there in front. Now watch what happens. This puck is deflected off of Downey's stick, deflects right off to the left, and goes in just inside the left post. They gave Imes the goal, but I think it's Downey's goal and a deflection in front. That may be changed before the game is over, but
Do you think the freshman Imes will speak up?
I don't think so, no. But I think Downey's going to get that goal. Now they have a puck at the blue line where Maine just is unable to get the puck out of the zone. Straub struggles with the puck just inside the blue line. This is a power play goal for Boston College. They carry the puck right down to the middle. Now watch, Carney goes down and the puck deflects right off his skate. Heads over to the Pergola. Pergola takes a shot. Dunham stops that one. Pergola's able to control the puck behind the goal. There's O'Neill. He's uncovered, moves to the front. Dunham tries to get over, and O'Neill splits the wicket.
And that all came within the first 4 or 5 minutes of the hockey game. And for the next 20,
things settle down a little bit, but not the pace, Bob. I can't believe they kept that pace up for 25 minutes.
Yeah, it was great up and down hockey. You know, one of the differences today between today's hockey and hockey back when I coached in the 70s is that these kids are playing all summer long. And as Coach Walsh said, one of the negatives of that is that they have a lot of bad habits that they pick up through freelancing during the summertime. The positive of it is most of these youngsters are into year-round conditioning and summer hockey, and they come back to camp in pretty good shape.
Well, the players have come back out onto the Walter Brown Arena ice, and we'll be back in just a moment with the second period.
Everybody knows that milk's for babies, charming, disarming, whatever they do. Everybody knows that milk's for babies. Wouldn't you know it, baby? Milk's for you. Soft baby skin, strong baby bones, a bright baby smile, and ooh, great muscle tone. Wouldn't you know it, baby? Milk's for you. It's a health kick, baby.
And now, a few words from US Air. The airline with the most non-stops to Philadelphia from Boston.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jim Brandstatter. And I'm Gary Moeller, the head football coach at Michigan. Be sure and join us every week this fall for Michigan Replay. It's the only show that gives you the inside story on Wolverine football.
Catch Michigan Replay Sunday morning at 11:30 on Nesson.
Well, we're back at BU's Walter Brown Arena. Dave Shea and Bob Norton, glad to have you with us for the first of 2 days of the Hockey East Jamboree. And we have goaltending changes as we go into the second 25-minute session.
Oh, I had a chance to talk to Garth Snow during that first period. He's coming back off an injury, missed last season with a broken wrist, a sixth-round pick of the Quebec Nordiques in '87. Back in the 88-89 season, he had a 2-2 record with a 3.49 goals against average. Garth Snow out of Rentham, Mass. This Scott LeGrand, he was a big story for Boston College last year out of Potsdam, New York. Last year, 17-4. He had a 2.47 goals against average and at times played flat out spectacularly.
BC has changed the lines. They dropped their fourth line of Farley, Riley, and Rathbone, and now have put in a fifth line for the second period. Joe Crowley, a freshman out of Boxborough on the left wing. Jack Callahan, a freshman out of Chestnut Hill and Belmont Hill centering. And John Joyce, a freshman out of Avon Old Farms on the right wing. They also have added two defensemen, Ron Piscucci and Michael Spalla, a freshman that Steve Cedarchuk tells me has fantastic hands for a defenseman.
In this second period, they're going to try to give they let the freshmen take a look at things the first period, and now they're going to put them out there generally as a group and see what they can do. By the way, Brian Straub asked me to say hello to his mom and dad who were watching the game, and I told him that I would do that, and it's done.
Oh, Brian's out there right now with Keith Kearney and Martin Robitaille trying to kill off a 4-on-3 BC advantage to start the second period with Jim Montgomery in the box. Maine short-handed to start period 2. Joe Cleary has a shot blocked and then cleared. Nice play by Martin Robitaille. Cleary through center ice, passing on the wing for Emma. It was broken up. Kearney. And Kearney will elect to rag the puck and kill some time.
Yeah, he's the only hockey player from Bozeman, Montana, is Brian Straub.
I bet there aren't too many that know that, especially those in Montana.
Well, the Straubs do.
Yep, right. Emma across with Cleary. This shot up high, and it hit the shield of Brian Straub. Thank goodness for face guards in college hockey. The shot deflected by Marty McGinnis went wide, and then David Emma's shot was covered up by Garth Snow. So some pressure late in the power play, just 18 seconds left to go in the man advantage.
You watch this shot from around the net. You know, even though Coach Sean Walsh talked about the impact of Del Judas being gone now, there with Emmer in front with a point-blank shot, it's not gone really. All the players on the team are watching how the two goaltenders play early, and it's very important for team confidence. Nothing deflates a team worse than poor goaltending play, and it's very important early in the season for the two goaltenders here to play confidently, play consistently, and play well. The team knows when they've made a mistake that's cost a goal, but they want the goaltenders to give a little bit of confidence to the team, and that's what Coach Walsh, I'm sure, is looking for early in the season.
Chris Himes Being checked in deep. Franzosa digs the puck out. It rolls to the left point. Schaffhauser has his shot blocked. Dennehy tried to slide it down low. That was broken up, and Maine has killed off the penalty. Montgomery is back, and the Black Bears are at full strength. Here's Pat Schaffhauser. Broken up. And Mark Dennehy there. He is broken up. Down the left wing, Brian Downey tries to center. We got a penalty coming up against BC as Dennehy intercepted the pass. It's going to be on Mark Barron, I believe, who had Barkley tied up.
Well, he was giving a good back-checking effort, but he got himself in a situation where he was holding Barkley, stopped moving his feet, put the grab on him, and he's going to go off for holding. When you're back-checking a player, that means when you're as a forward coming back, picking up an offensive player on a check. Once you get on the offensive player and cover him, it's extremely important to continue moving your feet and continue skating. If you stop skating and your offensive opponent continues skating, the only way you stay with him is by putting a hook on him or grabbing him, and when that happens, you get set off, and that's what happened to Barron.
Randy Olson out between Jean-Yves Roy and the freshman Patrice Tardif on the main power play. Tardif broken up by Pergola, and he clears. Straub and Imes at the points for Maine. Pergola and O'Neill along with Crowley and Pascucci. Kill the penalty out for BC, and that's Pascucci with his first shift of the night, breaking up the play. Straub in behind his own net. Straub carrying through center ice. Makes the play onto the left wing. Tardif took a hit and was broken up. And again, the puck is cleared, this time by Ted Crowley. Ryan Straub logging a lot of ice time here early in the second period. I don't think he's been off the ice for the first 3 minutes.
Well, I think they're going to have to get a lot of ice time out of their veteran defenseman this year.
Bill Guerin, short-handed bid, broken up. Maine coming right back. Robitaille. He can't handle the bouncing puck, and a high stick and offside. Montgomery reached up and kept the stick and shoulder level by knocking down the puck, but he was offside in doing it.
Now, I look at Patrice Tardif play, the outstanding freshman prospect from Saint-Marceau, Quebec, and you watch him and you compare him to Jean-Yves Roy and Mario Thayer. Not the same kind of freshman player, and the Maine fans, I think, are going to have to be a little patient with him. Thayer and Roy were quick, fast, kind of playmaking kind of guys. Tardif is a big, strong guy, and I found in watching Hockey East play that sometimes a bigger, stronger guy, Bill Guerin was an example last year, it takes them a little time to work into the flow of the play over the season. They make more of an impact toward the end of the season than they do at the beginning when they get a little more feel to play. That quick guy can make an impact right away.
BC shorthanded with a 3-on-2. Pellerin has to deflect that in behind the cage. And here come the Black Bears. Tomberlin over the line. Onto the wing for Pellerin. Shoots it down low. Tomberlin looking for Pellerin. Not a good pass by Tomberlin, and it goes all the way back to the main zone.
Well, Carney was out of position, and that's why they let the puck go. They thought Carney was going to be at the right point, and no one was there.
Tomberlin on the left wing boards again. Taps it back to the left point, and Carney again a little late getting over. Keith Carney snaps it out center ice. The Eagles are back at full strength. Mike Barkley. Schaffhauser clears the center ice. Puck shot in hard by Weinrich. Zagolski up ahead for Hines. His shot was saved by Snow. Garth Snow has come up with a couple of big ones, Bob, here early.
Very big stand-up goaltender, and that's the key for him, is to stay up on your feet and use your size as an advantage to block the shooting area.
Hines and Matt Martin battle for the puck. Zagolski in his own end circles his net and starts up ice. Ahead for McGinnis. Marty McGinnis over the line. Between the defense. Broken up by Martin. Matt Martin, the freshman defenseman, starting it right back for Maine. He banks it in off the boards. Schaffhauser taps it away from the oncoming Downey. Ryan Downey keeps it in, however. Schaffhauser in deep, checked by Barkley. Broken up. Schaffhauser stayed with it and got the puck back. Franzosa overskates it. Schaffhauser tried to bank it in off the boards, instead banked it off the linesman, and Maine brings it back into the zone. That's Tony Link, wing to wing. Looking for Lacouture. Mercier broken up. Pergola for Glennon. That's Glennon who has a goal. Shoots wide. He had the far side open and couldn't pick the corner. Good bid by Matt Glennon as he broke in on Garth Snow.
Well, he makes a great move on defenseman Eric Fenton here. He gives him a little dip with the shoulder to the inside. Watch him dip. Little shoulder fake with the curl and drag move. Goes forehand. Snaps off the shot. That was a dandy move in the one-on-one. The key thing in the one-on-one when you come down defensively is you want to be able to free yourself up on the forehand for the shot. And that's what he did. In that situation, Fenton backed off a little bit. And when he made that move, he just opened himself up from shooting room. Got off a tough shot.
2-1, BC leading Maine. 19-19 left to go here in the second period. If you're just joining us, it's the Hockey East Jamboree. 2 25-minute periods. You're watching BC and Maine in the opener of tonight's doubleheader. BU and UNH will follow. Then tomorrow night, down at Schneider Arena on the campus of Providence College, we'll see Lowell and Merrimack go at it, followed by Northeastern and the host club Providence.
Providence, I think, is a little bit better, too, than the coaches give them credit for. And people who've seen the Merrimack team say they're much improved this season. And I'm looking forward to watching them because everybody that's seen them practice and seen them out this year has said that we're going to be surprised.
BC trying to put the heat on Garth Snow. A hand pass will be called as Pergola knocked it down. Tried to get back to it. Jeff O'Neill, though, touched it.
Interesting situation with the Lowell team, too, Dave. This is Coach Bill Riley's last season. Lowell has hired Bruce Crowder to be the coach next year, and Bruce Crowder, formerly assistant at Maine, is with the Lowell team this year, and he'll be working as essentially the head coach to be, but on the bench with Coach Riley, a rather unusual circumstance. You haven't seen that very much.
So which one are you going to talk to tomorrow night?
I may end up talking to both of them.
Carney over the line, holding. Nice drop pass for Tomberlin. A slick move by Keith Carney. Here's Tomberlin. Oh, he gets hammered into the back of the net by Matt Glennon.
That could easily be called a check from behind. Tomberlin got wrapped into the net right from the rear, and Glennon, I think, just barely avoided that back bar on the goal cage.
How's your neck?
Remember last year, the hit from behind.
John Jones asked him, how's your neck?
Now,
boy,
that comes pretty close to a hit from behind, and last year they called that very, very closely.
Here John Jones explaining to Scott Pellerin, had his helmet caught up in the net, so I was going to call it right there. Nice touch by our crew, our Nesson crew, to have linesman John Jones mic'd, as well as head coach Sean Walsh. Of course, it's got to be risk when you go miking the head coaches during a game. I don't care if it's preseason or not.
Well, you know, I have a philosophy about that. I think they can all control what they say when they know they're going to be heard, and it's going to be on. So, you know, if they can do it when they're mic'd during the in this situation on television, they can do it when they're not mic'd.
So what would have happened if Roger Clemens and Terry Cooney were mic'd? We may never have had the now famous altercation.
I bet you that if they were mic'd and the players were mic'd, that we'd have much less of it.
Well, look, it's an interesting innovation.
It sure is.
Don't know if any league or Hockey East, for that matter, will ever ask for it, but we're more than willing to cooperate. It's kind of fun. Ron Fiscucci, the defenseman from Boston College, called for slashing. So Maine with the power play. This is their second of the period. Cleary trying to clear, can't. It is kept in by Imes. Imes takes a heavy hit from Emma. Centering pass. Shot is blocked as Jean-Yves Roy tried to get off the wrist shot, and Joe Cleary went down and blocked it. I don't think it ever got to LeGrand.
No, I don't think it did either. Cleary made a very nice play on a dangerous shooter, one of the more dangerous shooters in this league. You're going to watch Cleary, number 10. Keep your eye on Cleary. Great movement of the puck by Maine inside. They're going to try to play the give and go out of the corner. Here comes Roy out of the net. Pass in front. Cleary down with the block. That was just a dandy block on a good shooter, Jean-Yves Roy. Nice feed in front by Randy Olson from behind the goal line.
Olson wins the draw for Imes. Down low for Olson. Back for Roy. Straub to Roy. Back for Imes, shoots it wide. That's just about the spot where he took the shot in the first period that resulted in the lone Maine goal of the night. Olson trying to make a nice play, but BC is able to carry out. Emma broken up. Great play by Roy. Tardif carries over but broken up. Now gets it back. Tardif holding. Can't get the forehand on. Now keeps it up. Saved by Legrand. Rebound goes all the way into the corner. Olson and Roy battling for the puck, and it is going to be Olson. Olson trying to center. Schaffhauser doing a good job of manning the short side of the net, preventing that centering pass from getting out in the slot.
Yeah, and Olson keep trying to whack at it because he knew that if he had moved that puck in front, he had Roy standing right in front to sort of garbage it in. Legrand's a very good stand-up goaltender. You know, I remember Jackie Ferrara, who's the general manager at Minnesota, going to be the general manager of the new club out on the West Coast, saying that always look at the goaltender who never looks spectacular but stops the puck all the time. He's the guy that's in position. And that's Legrand. You know, he just plays excellent position in the nets. And, you know, some nights you go out and he's made 30 saves. You say, well, gee, he didn't play that well. But his position and his angle play was superb. You're in good angles. If you're in good angles and you're in good position, you don't have to make the spectacular save.
Still 47 seconds on the power play. Franzosa can't clear the zone. Ellerin backhands it around the board. Joe Cleary gets to it, though, first for BC, and he is able to get it by Montgomery at the left point. Marty McGinnis down to forecheck effectively. And the Eagles continue to make Maine work on this power play. Shot by Montgomery went wide. By Robitaille. Pass out of the corner, intended for Tarbell, and that was blocked and cleared the length of the ice. Montgomery in his own end. Watched closely by Franzosa. Carney through center ice. Nice stick handling by Carney. Shoots and a save. Kicked out by Legrand. Nice individual effort that time by Keith Carney. Carney, who on the last Maine power play may or may not have been out of position a couple of times. Very much the factor on this rush. It is all Keith Carney. Watch him weave by Franzosa. Then by Zagulski. And then he gets off the shot on Legrand, who came out to cut down the angle and kicked it out with the stick and the right skate. Keith Carney, one of the top players in the country a year ago. Bob Norton is headed down to the Boston College bench, so we'll be checking in with Bob in just a few minutes. In case you're wondering where his expert commentary is for the next few minutes. Matt Martin, the freshman, shoots it wide. Whitmire can't connect with Downey. John Joyce can't clear the zone. It is kept in, and a heavy hit was laid on defenseman Dan Murphy, a sophomore out of Hamden, Connecticut. Watch this hit coming up. That is Crunch City Jack Callahan, a freshman out of Belmont Hill School and a native of Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts. Introducing himself, the sophomore defenseman Dan Murphy. Both teams at full strength. Eagles skating their fifth line, if you will. Line that did not play in the first period, but is in here in the second period. Lacouture centering, and a save off of Whitmire by Legrand. Puck comes out to center ice. Jason Weinrich with it. And Maine has really picked up the tempo here in the second period, aided by the power play, which allowed them to control the puck. Crowley, along with Joyce, battling Whitmire for the puck, and Callahan now carries it out. for Crowley. Joe Crowley, left winger. He cannot connect with Callahan, and Maine able to dump it into the neutral zone. Mark Dennehy flips it in wide of Garth Snow. 14:55. Time left to go here in the second period. And for all intents and purposes, tonight left in the game. We're playing 2 25-minute periods. There will be no overtime if the game ends in a tie at the end of this period. Steve Hines couldn't take the pass from Matt Glennon. Glennon in the corner, being checked. Broken up by Eric Fenton. Fenton continues to ride Glennon in deep. And we finally get a whistle as the puck came out near the crease. Garth Snow covering up.
Thanks, guy.
Don't forget, UNH and Boston University set to tangle after BC and Maine settle their differences here in the opener of this doubleheader. The Hockey East Jamboree will be down at Schneider Arena tomorrow night. Campus of Providence College. PC and Northeastern. Lowell against Merrimack. Face-off coming to the left of Garth Snow. BC wins the draw. Dennehy from the point. Deflected in on Snow, and he made the save. Dennehy's pass was intercepted and cleared. This will be icing. So we'll bring it back into the Black Bears defensive zone and do it again. Taking a look at it, defenseman Pat Schaffhauser, sophomore out of St. Paul, Minnesota. There's Len Siglarski. Sometime in January, he'll be coaching his 1,000th game. Wow. Hard to believe. Cleary from the right point. That was struck by someone on the way in. It obviously was a Maine player, as the faceoff will remain in the Maine zone. Joe Cleary teed it up. Puck deflected over the end boards, and a face-off again in the Maine zone. This time Maine controls and carries out. Himes. Brand out to play it. Pergola. Centering pass intercepted. Pellerin's pass blocked by Cleary. Pergola. Nice little half pass off the boards for Matt Glennon. Glennon holding ahead to Cleary. Nice pass back to Glennon. Glennon couldn't connect that time with Ron Pascucci. Maine fighting to clear the zone. Pergola doing his best to prevent it. Robitaille. Great pass, Himes. Broken up. Dave Emmett. Being checked by Roy. Emmett carries in. Garrett trailing him but couldn't pick up the puck, and the Black Bears able to bring it out to center ice. Offside the call as Mark Barron tried to carry in. With a whistle, let's go down now to the Boston College bench. Bob Norton has Len Siglarski with him. Bobby?
Thanks a lot, David. Coach, after all these years, I could tell just being on his bench is a lot of fun.
Oh, it is, Dave, especially this time of year when, you're trying to find combinations or whatever. This is the fun part of the year when you don't have to worry about who's winning, who's losing, and trying different guys, Bob.
It's like back on the ponds. Watch out here. I know from my experience in those pucks are coming. This has been a lot of fun, but you're still learning something about your team tonight.
Oh, yeah, we have some young kids, Bobby. We have some young kids that we have to try, and we only lost 2 kids from last year, but we have to play better. I think we can play better too. We've got to get more scoring from different people, and this is what we're trying to do. This is why we broke up the line, the great big line last year, and trying to get more scoring, more balance.
Just watching you talk to the kids, you're worried, concerned about them getting picked. Does Maine do a lot of picking that you have to be alert to when you're playing against them?
Well, yeah, they're no different from any other team. They might do a little bit more, Bob. But the thing is, our kids, they've been getting picked to the inside too much tonight, and we just can't let those goals get to the outside. One pass and he's in the shot on goal. This is something that we just haven't had a chance to practice. That's all.
You put most of your freshmen in at the end in the second half. Is there any reason for that?
Well, we just want to give everybody a chance to play. There was nothing special except to try and give the 4 freshmen a chance to play. They, who knows, they may not get in for a while, so we're trying to get them in and see what they can do.
Good luck to you the rest of the way, Coach.
Thanks, Bobby. A pleasure, pal.
Lenny Siglarski, the head coach of Boston College. Back up to you, David.
All right, Bob, and we'll go back to Bob Norton on the Boston College bench to talk with a few of the Eagle players before we're through. But right now, Maine with the heat on. Scott LeGrand with the save. A shot taken by right winger Steve Tepper, a senior out of Westboro, Massachusetts. He was set up high in the slot and drilled one at Scott LeGrand. Here it is, Tepper getting everything into that shot. But look at LeGrand out at the top of the crease, taking away most of the net from Tepper and making the save. 2-1. All the scoring coming early in this one. Glennon gave BC the lead at 1:15. We're not quite sure if it was Chris Imes or Brian Downey on the deflection. I believe Downey gets credit for the goal from Imes at 1:43 to tie it. And then BC at the 6:16 mark of the first period. O'Neill with the goal to give Boston College a 2-1 lead, and that's the way it still stands. 2-1 Boston College with 11:43 left to go here in the second period. Zagulski for Boston College banks it off the boards to Cleary. Cleary tried to send Marty McGinnis away. Not icing. Collision in deep, and Maine comes back. The Black Bears on the attack. Great save by LeGrand. Oh, what a beauty by LeGrand with Martin Mercier moving in off the right wing. We're going to have a penalty coming up against Boston College. Let's get down and hear from BC's David Emma, who's standing by with Bob Norton. Bob?
Thanks, David. I'll tell you, this may be an exhibition preseason game, but you guys like to play Maine tough.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's like we left off from last year in the Hockey East Championship. Up and down hockey all the way, and I think everybody's playing tough. No one's taking it as an exhibition game. It doesn't look like it out here anyway.
David, you had a great season last year. What do you have to do mentally to prepare yourself to gear up to even have a better year this year? Sometimes it's tough to come back and have the same kind of intensity.
I think I just have to get myself ready like I did last year for every game and play consistent hockey. And every day in practice, I go out there and try to improve on my game and work on things to make myself a better player. And I think if I just go out there, play hard, things will work out.
Coach Cedachuk reminding you to play defense in a 2-1 game. Exhibition or not, they don't want to lose, do they?
No, definitely not. This is a big edge going into the league anyway, so I think that's why the intensity is so high tonight.
Good luck to you, Dave.
Thank you.
Back to you, David.
All right, Bob. Power play for Maine as Marty McGinnis is off for a hooking. So the Eagles will have to kill off another Maine power play, and that puck deflected up over the end boards. And the face-off is going to come outside the zone. Jean-Yves Roy felt that it was deflected, and I think he has a point. That shot was deflected. Here's the penalty. Cleary going to try to tie up Mercier. The penalty did not come on that particular play. It came away from the puck as number 9 Marty McGinnis was called for a holding. But what a great effort by Mercier to try to move in and get the forehanded shot away. Cleary came up with a nice defensive play, and LeGrand a good save. Patrice Tardif in the corner gets it back to the point. Chris Imes for Straub. His shot deflected high by Crowley off the glass. Imes for Straub. Looking for the man wide as Olsen couldn't handle the pass, and the puck is cleared out of the zone by Jeff O'Neill. BC has done a good job on the penalty killing tonight. Crowley with a heavy hit on Montgomery to break up the play, and Maine will have to start again. Carney for Montgomery. Scott Pellerin shot and a save by LeGrand. The rebound knocked away by Emma before Tomberlin could jump on it. Justin Tomberlin, the sophomore right winger, was cruising in off his wing, looking for the rebound. Mark Barrett in deep for BC. They're short-handed. Emma fights to keep it in the zone, and now just rags it. The Eagles killing valuable time on this Maine power play. 9:35 time remaining. 15 seconds left to go, and the man advantage for Maine. Here come the Black Bears. Tomberlin, centering pass is deflected over Scott LeGrand. Robitaille back to Carney. Schaffhauser in the corner. Hit by Pellerin. The Eagles have their man back, and they break. O'Neill has Pergola with him. Shot and a save by Snow. And the rebound covered up. Bob, this BC team, ever opportunistic.
Yeah, they sure are. You know, Coach Zaglarski was real pleased with the shorthand play of Pergola and O'Neill. You know, he went from sort of agony to ecstasy, or ecstasy to agony, real pleased, and then all of a sudden, two guys get caught up ice, and then there was a little bit of disturbance down here, a little upset, and then all of a sudden a breakaway the other way where BC gets a chance. So that's the way shorthand play is. You know, sometimes the coach is real pleased, as they were in the early part of that shorthand shift with the play of the shorthand group, particularly Pergola and O'Neill, and then they get a little distressed toward the end where people get caught up ice and gave Maine some chances. Back to you, David.
All right, Bob. Garth Snow handled the shot but had a tough time with the rebound, but was able to cover up, and it's still 2-1 Boston College. Less than 9 minutes to go. Good crowd tonight here at Walter Brown Arena. Cegulski couldn't connect with John Joyce. Cleary hits Joyce in stride. Joyce clips it into the zone. Jack Callahan going in after it. Got an all-freshman line out right now for BC. Joyce laid a heavy hit out on Steve Widmeyer that time. Maine coming right back. Mike Barkley flips it into the corner. Cleary in ahead of Downey on the puck. Joe Cleary through center ice for John Joyce. He rolls it in on Snow as the Eagles get a change. Barney McGinnis stepped in to break up that pass, but Maine able to clear. Michael Spalla, freshman defenseman. And another freshman defenseman, this time for Maine. Chris Ives in deep. Centering pass for Hines, saved by Snow, and Marty McGinnis couldn't get to the rebound. Some heavy petting going on around the Maine cage, as Garth Snow is trying to withstand the fury. Let's get down to the BC bench. Bob, what do you think?
Well, I'll tell you, that puck just seemed to sit there in the goal crease for a long, long time as McGinnis was had a good opportunity, but just sat there by the corner of the post, and you can see it right here, a lot of open net, but they just couldn't get to it to convert. One of the other things, Dave, I was going to say is when that freshman line went out there, Crowley, Callahan, and Joyce, we saw Joyce, a freshman from Avon Old Farms, give a real good check in the offensive end, but one of the things you might not notice from up there, David, is how big those kids are. Callahan, 6'3", 190. Joyce is 6'3", 185, and Crowley, 6'1", 185. When Joyce and Callahan come off the ice, they look like two big redwoods.
Wouldn't be surprising if Jack Picknell put out an emergency call, huh? 7:35 left to go as McGinnis jumped up and batted it down to keep the puck in the zone. Here's Spalla teeing it up, blocked out in front. Spalla keeps it in and then backhands it up over the glass into the seats. Michael Spalla, the freshman from Plymouth, Minnesota.
David, he played at Wayzata, Minnesota, and, you know, unlike Crowley and Callahan are real big forwards, Spalla is very small. He's a defenseman, but he's very clever. He's got great hands, 5'8", 170 pounds, but real good with the stick, real good passer coming out of the zone, handles a one-on-one well. Now, right now, Coach Cedachuk is talking to him about trying to face up the puck and trying to watch what's happening around him and not allow, particularly with a 2-1 lead in 7 minutes ago, I'm sure Coach Cedachuk is reminded, don't let Maine forwards sneak behind you and get a break.
Matt Martin slides it into the BC zone. LeGrand out to handle it and leaves it for Piscucci. Piscucci stepped right into the check of Martin Robitaille. Dennehy. The pass, Mark Barrett couldn't connect. Roy over the line, and an offside is called against Jean-Yves Roy. And Roy has been pretty chippy all night long. Of course, he's drawn a lot of attention, too, from Boston College. But I think Jean-Yves is trying to stake out his space, not only for the night, but for the season. When you score 39 goals, you're going to draw attention. Sometimes so much so that it gets to be a pain, and there's only one way to free up a little space. Boston College 2, Maine 1. Everyone overskating the puck. Downey's wrist shot is blocked. I believe Barron went down and got it. Downey in point blank. Here's Bill Garrett down the right side. Garrett takes the shot. And defenseman Dan Murphy got his stick out on the puck and deflected it up over the glass. We'll have a face-off coming in the Maine zone. 6:40 remaining, second period. Opening game of the two-day, four-game Hockey East Jamboree. Let's take a look at Brian Downey, a sophomore left winger. Look at where he was positioned. Spala was the one who went down and got it. Bob, what do you think of Downey's opportunity?
Well, he had a great opportunity in front there. You know, Coach Siglarski's just going up and down the bench, reminding the forwards not to get caught up ice, not to allow two forwards to get caught up ice and let Maine get any breakaway. He wants to make sure he has two forwards coming back at all times. They've got a 2-1 lead, and they don't want to let it go with 6:30 left in the game.
A play on right now in the Maine end. Tepper couldn't clear the zone. Here's Murphy. Murphy for Tepper. Maine carrying into the zone. Mercier draws a lot of attention. Matt Glennon now patiently holding and then flipping it up over the glass into the seats. Mercier, I don't believe, got a piece of it. Let's see where they'll call the faceoff. And rightfully so, it'll be called inside the BC zone. Glennon was hoping that John Jones would say, yeah, I think Maine got a piece of it, but no. John was right on it. Glennon and Olsen off the faceoff, and Glennon wins it. No Clary to Pergola, and Glennon carries out with Jeff O'Neill breaking. O'Neill tries to split the defense. No call as he was dragged down at the line. Jason Weinrich up ahead for Justin Tomberlin. Broken up by Jeff O'Neill at center ice. Cardiff for Carney. Olsen for Tomberlin. Tomberlin tried to get it on the forehand and couldn't catch up with it. He was broken up. Get that close to the net, and usually there's not enough time to maneuver for the forehand shot. Tomberlin checked at center ice and knocked down. Olsen picks it up. Slides it into the BC zone. Schaffhauser for Cleary. Both teams changing up. Cleary through center ice. Tried to send John Joyce in alone. Couldn't do it. Here's Jack Callahan. The freshman line for BC on again. Joyce battling on the far side boards. Pellerin and Cleary, a head-on collision. That's right in front of you, Bob.
I'll tell you, it was a pretty good smack. Cleary did his job, though. He's got to take the body of Pellerin. It looked like Pellerin got the best of it, but Cleary did the job by stopping Pellerin on the rush. I think we got a penalty call, Dave.
I won't even hazard on who it's on, Bob, because everybody was hitting everybody. It's a holding call. Let's wait and see who's going to get it. I couldn't even tell who touched up when the whistle blew.
Yeah, I think the penalty's going to be on Joyce.
John Joyce
on
for BC.
Joyce for holding. We're going to have an important penalty kill right here with 4:40 remaining. The last penalty, Boston College did a great job of, particularly in the first half of the penalty with Pergola and O'Neill, but they've got some outstanding forwards who could do a real good job of killing shorthand. Now 4:40, Coach Siglarski's just reminding them that on this shorthand, they're going to have quick changes. They're not going to let anybody get out there and get tired.
There's the hold right there as you saw the two players disappear behind the boards. John Joyce with the hold. McGinnis, Franzosa, Crowley, and Dennehy to kindle a penalty for Boston College. Patrice Tardif, Randy Olsen. Steve Widmeyer is out. Take a look at this hit here. Cleary meets Pellerin right at center ice. Olsen gets whistled out of the circle, so McGinnis and Tardif on the draw. And McGinnis wins it. Dennehy checked by Tardif. Tardif back to the point. Straub caught Tardif going the wrong way, and it didn't work. McGinnis with a nice play. He has Franzosa breaking for the net shorthanded, but it didn't connect. Franzosa would have been in alone. Franzosa in for checking Straub. Maine on the power play. Just over 4 minutes left to go. Crowley trying to send McGinnis in on Garth Snow. Chris Imes, the freshman defenseman for Maine, starts the play. Randy Olson slides it in. Mark Dennehy back on it for BC. Widmeyer right on him. Steve Widmeyer. Good strong play along the boards. Pellerin for Widmeyer. Pellerin is dragged into the cage, and the cage comes off the pins. And it's a wonder that Ted Crowley didn't pick up a penalty there, Bob, as he got a stick up on Scott Pellerin and leveled him right into the cage.
That was fortunate, but just listening to Coach Zaglarski, he felt that the forwards in that situation did a great job. He was worried that they stayed along a little bit too long. He just reminded the guys that went out to make sure that they keep short shifts. They've got a minute to kill in this thing, and he also reminded Guerin, who has a tendency to get his stick up and take a penalty, to keep the stick down and not go to the box. They got 3:39 remaining in the game and 1 minute to go on the penalty, and they've had some great penalty killing in this second session.
Faceoff coming just outside the BC zone. Cleary tried to clear. Emma was upended as the puck is kept in the zone. Pellerin battling Pascucci. Roy gets it back to the point. Carney and Montgomery, the points on the Maine power play. Charles Roy. Carney keeps it in on a nice play. Almost lost control of the puck, but kept it in the zone. Roy. And the setup Pellerin was broken up down low by Pascucci, who's trying to get a face-off and succeeds. Sophomore Ron Pascucci, native of North Andover, Mass, and came to Boston College by way of Belmont Hill. 27 seconds left to go on the Maine power play. Cleary and Pascucci will go off in favor of some fresh legs in defense. Crowley and Zagulski. Dave Emma and Bill Guerin, the penalty killers up front for Boston College. Robitaille to take the draw against Emma. Roy and Pellerin, the wings on this power play line with Robitaille. Now Guerin will come in and take the draws. Emma is waved out. He'll take it against Pellerin, as Robitaille also got the thumb. And Guerin wins the faceoff. Crowley can't clear the zone, though. Carney, centering pass. Emma intercepted. It was intended for Roy. Imes down low, upended by Crowley. The puck underneath Imes. Pellerin trying to dig it out, and finally does. Robitaille trying to make the play from behind the net. Can't get it to Roy. He tried to take it off his backhand and missed it. And the penalty is up. BC back in full strength. But here comes Roy. Holding, looking, intercepted by O'Neill. He was trying to set up Robitaille. Bill Guerin off the right wing. Guerin in deep. Fends off the hit, is knocked down. Straub made the play in deep. And made right back. Jean-Yves Roy. Pass intended for Robitaille, broken up by Cleary. Oh, BC almost got a 3-on-2, but Cleary couldn't get the puck out. Roy has trouble. Carney tries to one-hand it in the slot, intercepted by Glennon. Glennon moving in off the left wing, puts on the brakes and looks for help. BC right now with 1:45 left to go, not wanting any Maine player to get behind them. So most of the forwards playing rather high. And time ticking on as referee Rich Polk says, guys, play it. Finally blows the whistle. 1:31 left to go here in the second period. There's referee Rich Folks. Face-off will come to the right of Garth Snow. Maine with so many opportunities, but unable to make the connection. A bouncing puck here or an errant pass there. They certainly have had people in position, but just couldn't finish off the plays. Pat Glennon is standing by with Bob Norton. Let's get down to the BC bench. Bob?
Thanks, Dave. Boy, Coach was happy with that play. You were just thinking score all the time. Didn't really make the offensive move, did you?
No, the coach said just get the puck in the zone. Don't worry too much about the goals right now. We want to hit it in there. If they're going to let me stay there, I got to keep it there.
You kept it up against the boards, and you made the nice backflip into the zone. You've had a good scoring night. Your lines played well. You have to be pleased.
Yeah, thanks. This is great for me. I just got moved up to the third line the other day, so I'm very happy the way things turned out tonight.
Great job, Matt. Thank you, David.
All right, Bob, final minute of play. Both teams just came off the scoring opportunities. Maine right now, though, on the attack. Centering pass off the skate of Pascucci. Kept in Montgomery, saved by LeGrand. Oh, my. Montgomery all alone out in front with Scott LeGrand down and out. It looked like he had slid it under him, and instead LeGrand got the glove down along the ice and took the puck away. Watch this one. Puck kept in at the point by Dan Murphy. Now look at this. Bob, you talk about a big save early in the season. That was a giant save by Scott LeGrand.
I'll tell you, David, this is an exhibition game in name only down here on this bench. If you were down on the bench, you could catch the emotion of this BC team. This is BC and Maine, and nobody cares that this thing doesn't go into the record book. Both these teams are playing hard, and when LeGrand made that save, this BC team got extremely excited. Maine has called timeout in an exhibition game, and this isn't mess around time. Both these teams want to win this thing, or Maine for sure wants to go back and tie it. BC really excited about getting out of here with a win, and really excited about LeGrand's play.
All right, winger Jim Montgomery, a sophomore from Montreal, all alone out in front. As this puck goes off the skate of Montgomery, he controls it. He had LeGrand out and down, but LeGrand was able to get the glove down on the ice. And you saw number 16, the freshman Patrice Tardif, all along the corner. He had that one counted and couldn't believe that Scott LeGrand was able to get to it. Wow. I bet that gum has been given quite a workout here in the closing minutes of this one. But then again, when you've gone through 900 some odd games, maybe that's just habit to chew the gum. Nerves no longer play a role. Len Siglarski, winningest college hockey coach of all time. 45 seconds left to go. 2-1 Boston College. Face-off coming to the left of Scott LeGrand. Dave Emma will take the draw for Boston College. Mike Barkley for Maine. Bobby?
Stephen, this is not an exhibition game the way these guys are playing down on the ice. This looks like the finals of the Hockey East playoffs. Steve Cedachuk, the BC assistant coach.
Yeah, well, that's it's that kind of league. It's just that kind of league. That's all. It's really competitive, recruiting and everything else, and that's why it's a great league.
I tell you, both teams really care about this one. This is not a mess-around game, is it?
No, and I really don't want to talk to you right now either.
Steve Cedachuk, assistant coach of Boston College. He wants to watch the rest of it.
Who says coaches give you patented lines? Bill Guerin can't clear the zone, but Dave Emma does. He was shooting for the open net. It was knocked down at the line. We got a whistle of offside. Boy, both teams working extra hard. BC trying to clear the puck out of the zone. Dave Emma had an open net, and I couldn't tell if it was right winger Justin Tomberlin or not who got a stick out and knocked that shot down, or this game would have been history at 3-1. There's Bill Guerin, Boston College right winger, sophomore, out of Wilbraham, Massachusetts. Emma on the draw, won this time by Barkley. Montgomery had to wait for Olsen to clear the zone. Cleary can't clear. Robitaille can't get to it. Carney has his shot blocked by Emma. Carney with it. Centering pass. Went through a crowd far side. Montgomery for Roy. Centering pass for Pellerin. Emma has it. Intercepted. Montgomery. The backhander partially blocked. Roy can't get to it. The buzzer sounds. And BC has won. And whoa, we've got a fight breaking out in the Boston College zone. And the bench is empty. Joe Cleary was in the middle of that. I believe Scott Pellerin
was also with it.
Keep it cool. Keep it cool.
Here's John Jones and Sean Walsh. But we have finished up the first of our doubleheader tonight with the Boston College Eagles defeating the Maine Black Bears 2-1 in the front half of tonight's doubleheader in the Hockey East Jamboree. We'll take a break. We'll come back and talk with BC head coach Len Zaglarski in just a moment. Don't go away.
You just can't beat New England. There's so much here to see. And when you're talking trucks in New England, you're talking GMC truck. It's not just a truck anymore. A truck you can live with, a truck you can work with, a truck you can play with, a truck you can stay with. GMC truck. It's not just a truck anymore.
See your New England GMC truck dealers today.
Everybody knows that milk's for babies. Charming, disarming, whatever they do. Wouldn't you know it, baby? Milk's for you. Soft baby skin, strong baby bones, bright baby smile, ooh, great muscle tone. Wouldn't you know it, baby? Milk's for you. It's a health kick, baby.
All right, we're back at BU's Walter Brown Arena. That's the final of our first of two tonight. 2-1, BC holding on to beat Maine. And Bob Norton, I do mean holding on to beat Maine.
Thanks very much, Dave. Sean, this did not appear to me, particularly in the second half, to be your typical exhibition game.
Well, what happens in a 2-1 game, you know, is you're really doing everything you can to try to win it, and the intensity gets high, and it's normal, and certainly that's a great rival of ours, and I'm sure we're of them. We've met in the Hockey East Championship 3 of the last 4 years, so I wouldn't say there's no love lost. It's just a lot of respect, and the intensity's high. I loved the game. I thought it was great. I think that the way our team played in the second half was very, very encouraging. The first half, they had us on our heels. The second half, we really played well, and probably, no question, should have tied the game, but we didn't, and that's a good learning experience right now.
You know, I thought it was really interesting being on both benches for the first half. It sort of went along, and everybody was sort of playing a summer hockey-ish kind of game. And then the last 10 minutes of the game, these guys are all great competitors. The coaches are great competitors. And the last 10 minutes of the game, I mean, everybody really wanted to win this thing. Well, this one didn't make any difference.
Well, I think you're looking at two programs that are customarily in the NCAA's year in and year out. They're customarily going for a national championship. And darn it, pride. There's a lot of pride out there. And I thought it was a great exhibition game because we lost to a great club. And we lost to a senior-dominated club. And they're going to be there when it's all said and done, BC. And I think Maine might be there because we're going to get better. We only have one senior, and I sense we'll just get better and better, as they will. And it was a great test, a bit of a great showcase for Hockey East, too.
Well, if you sent the product out to be sold tonight, it certainly did a fine job of that. This was a great showcase for college hockey. Good luck during the season to you, Sean.
Thanks, Bob.
Back to you, David.
All right, Bob, and tell Sean to give Tracy a call back in Maine. Tell her to hold on. The bus is coming. Don't have that baby yet. We're awaiting the start of the BU-UNH game while looking at the final score from the opener of tonight's twin bill. BC beating Maine 2-1, and Bob Norton has Boston College head coach Len Zaglarski with him. Bobby?
Thanks very much, David. That, as I said to Coach Walsh, did not seem like your typical exhibition game in the last 10 minutes.
No, it really didn't, Bob. You know, both teams, I know our kids came back in really good shape this year, and, you know, to scrimmage against somebody else and play against somebody else, you know, it was just nice to see it. You know, I thought we skated pretty good for 50 minutes, and they did too. You know, they had some great forwards, and that's what makes you skate when the other team has the puck and they're coming right at you.
Coach, you've been around hockey a long, long time, and you've seen the emergence of all the summer programs and off-season conditioning. Do you think that kids come back to practice in better shape today than they used to, or do you notice any difference at all?
No question, Bobby. This year, you know, 5 years ago, if we brought 26 kids back, you might have 5 of them that couldn't run a mile and a half. This year, in the last 3 or 4 years, we bring the kids back. They're expected to run 6 miles, and there are a couple of weight projects that they have to do too. But our kids come in. I think every kid ran 6 miles the second day that we come back to school. So I think that tells you that they, you know, and I blame it on the fact that the American kids now think they have a chance to play in the NHL, and they're doing everything they can during the season and the off season to make sure that they get that opportunity.
Last question, Coach. I was watching you on the bench. The sort of agony and the ecstasy of shorthand. There was some times where you're really delighted with your shorthand, and sometimes you get frustrated by them, but they played well in the last period.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, Maine has a good power play, Bob. You know, this early in the year, we really haven't practiced killing penalties at all. Matter of fact, the only time we practiced our power play was the last 2 days. So it's early. You know, you just try to get the kids in shape and keep them from getting the groins and the shoulder injuries. And we've got a lot of work to do. But, you know, we have a lot of kids back from last year who killed penalties, so that's not a great problem for us right now. It might be later on, but, you know, we have kids like Emmer and Pagola and the other kids who've done a good job for us killing penalties, and so we're happy with the way our kids play.
Yeah, I tell you, got a fine team. We're going to have some fun this year.
Oh, I think so, Bob. I think it's going to, you know, we could have had 3 in the Final Four last year from our league, and, hey, we could have the same thing this year. But the other leagues are just as strong as we are, so it really should. It should be a great year for college hockey.
Good luck, Coach.
Thanks, Bobby.
Lenny Zaglarski, head coach of Boston College. Back to you, David.
All right, Bob, and come on up here and join me. We're going to take a break, but when we come back, we'll take a look at the highlights from BC's 2-1 victory, and we'll also take a look at the matchup between BU and UNH. It's all coming up.
When you've got to get to Toronto in the morning, remember, U.S. Air has the earliest nonstop every business day.
Your ticket to Boston Bruins hockey.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jim Brandstetter. And I'm Gary Moeller, the head football coach at Michigan. Be sure and join us every week this fall for Michigan Replay. It's the only show that gives you the inside story on Wolverine football.
Catch Michigan Replay Sunday morning at 11:30 on Nesson.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to BU's Walter Brown Arena. Dave Shea along with Bob Norton, and we're between games of this doubleheader on the first of 2 nights of the Hockey East Jamboree. And if the rest of the night or the rest of the weekend is like the way it started, Bob, I don't know if we're going to have enough energy when the sun sets tomorrow night in Providence.
You know, I couldn't really believe how the tempo of that game changed. You know, it was really like a friendly pond hockey game at the beginning, the first half of the game, and almost the second half started the same way, the second 25 minutes, but the last 10 minutes, I'll tell you, it was like the Hockey East Finals. When have you ever seen a coach call timeout in an exhibition game, as Sean Walsh did? But it was a lot of fun.
As Fred Kizik likes to refer to it, it looked like a game on Chandler Pond when we started out. Wide open skating. In fact, BC came out, their second possession, they scored.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Matt Glennon, that line played exceptionally well over the course of the evening, and they got a couple of similar kinds of goals, sort of chop around goals in front of the net, deflection off skates. Maine's defense was a little bit sloppy. That time, 3 BC forwards got behind the defense, and Glennon ended up popping it in.
Of course, Maine came right back less than a minute later to tie the game. The freshman Himes from the blue line whistled one that Downey got a piece of.
Yeah, we end up taking the goal away from Himes. Himes got a nice pass from Jim Montgomery right there. Cross point pass from inside left to outside right. Shot from the point, good and low. That's a textbook shot. And Downey right in front with the screen gets the tip.
And about 4 minutes later, the line of Glennon, Pergola, and O'Neill struck again for what turned out to be the game winner.
Well, so another chop-around goal in front of the net. This is another situation where Maine did not play real well defensively. The puck just deflected off Carney's skate. Pergola gets it to the left of the net. You see O'Neill right in front, and goaltender Dunham can't get over quite quickly enough to stop it.
So that's the way it ended. After 6 minutes, I guess we all could have taken a breather to get ready for BU-UNH, but there certainly was a lot more hockey and a lot of exciting moments right down to the final tick of the clock. It would appear that both teams are ready to open the season, although BC will have to wait 2 weeks.